my live streams again. Like when I first started live streaming. Man, rain coming down that hard is amazing. The floor ain't wet. Still don't know what the point of this part of the beginning for, other than just to add a nightmare sequence that doesn't even last that long.
3 more days, then I can kiss this town goodbye. Who could that be?
If I remember, yeah, from what I read on reports from Resident Evil 2, this whole thing started on the 25th. Or it should...
What the hell is that thing?
No, it was like reports of people infected and showing symptoms of the virus and thus ending up in hospitals. It started on the 25th. But then 3 days later, on the 28th, that's when all hell officially broke loose.
No way.
What I'm wondering though is, how did those fires start? Sigourney Weaver? Wait, let me make sure audio's not too high. There we go. So the 25th is when the reports started coming. No, even before the 25th. Months earlier, there was Resident Evil 1 in the outskirts of Raccoon City, in those towns that were just around the forest. And yeah, some of the smaller towns and villages in the Arklay Mountains.
Okay.
That's where reports of people cannibalizing one another, eating each other. That's when that happened. And again, that was months prior. But then it was months later that it started getting closer and closer to Raccoon City. What with the rats in the sewers getting into the chemicals that Birkin and those agents have dropped, and their little scuffle, thus leading to the 25th of when people, because it got into the water supply, people started getting sick.
Over here.
Then 3 days later again, that's when this all happens.
You okay?
What was that thing?
Damned if I know. But right now it's got a hard on for the only 2 stars left in town. You and me. I'm not sticking around. Just look around you. The longer we wait, the more screwed we are.
Is it me, or did it look like his voice was not fully synced with his words?
No. One fucked up thing always leads to another. It's like Arklay on steroids.
Even Brad says so. It all started back in Arklay.
Hey, wait! Down here!
He's cool, they ain't gonna see him. And this is the capsule Nemesis escaped from. One of those blink and you'll miss it sort of things.
Slow go. We couldn't be dreaming. How could this many people be infected? Brad! Here they come!
How did he not see all those zombies right in front of him?
There's so many.
Door behind you, go!
Sorry, Brad.
I understand Jill was injured and all that, but they could have ran. Because that's the thing about zombies, even the ones infected with the G virus, they're still pretty slow on their own. Usually zombies will slowly shamble their way towards you. It's only when, what is it? It's only when like when you're right in front of them, when you're in reach, that's when they suddenly lurch forward, start moving quicker.
Down there! Get to the parking garage roof!
Parking garage. Got it. Sir, are you alright?
Stay back! Don't come any closer!
Hey, come on. There's a helicopter waiting to take you to safety.
What safety? I'm not going out there!
The parking garage isn't far. I can
The
take
only safe place is in here!
What sucks is that knowing you'll never be able to return to this area to see what happens to him later on, like in the original game. I'm surprised he doesn't just crawl through there.
Shit! Start, damn it! It's my turn, bitch!
Here's a minor scratch.
Hey! Fuckface!
I'm surprised he didn't dodge that one. That's the cool thing about Mr. X and Nemesis. They're not one's not just a reskin of the other.
I think we're in the...
Mr. X wish he had the kind of weapons and power, speed, strength that Nemesis had.
Sorry, we're gonna have to go around.
And Nemesis wish he had the less ugly looking face and
It's no zombie.
cool swagger like
Knows what it wants
Mr.
when
X
it stops
has.
and gets it.
With the trench coat and the fedora.
No thanks. He's all yours.
Yeah, Mr. X is all about that cool style. Nemesis wish he had that.
With the Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service. BCS for short.
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You guys are the ones who caused all of this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you talking about? You don't have to trust me, but I'm going to the shelter. You coming? Come on, it's this way.
I'm glad as far as this whole thing with them being UBCS and some of them like Mikhail. Well, anyways, like Carlos and some of them not realizing how bad Umbrella really is and all that.
You need to get your gear up. Head up to street level. You'll find supplies there.
All right.
Where it's like, yeah, they understand that the kind of work they do ain't exactly the safe kind, but it does pay well and all the other good stuff. So Jill doesn't really go too far into the whole, oh, you're the bad guys, I don't trust you, and all this other stuff. Because, well, the Resident Evil series, it had its moments of drama throughout the games, but never like too heavy on it. Like each of the protagonists in each game, like there were moments where it got bad for them, but they never felt so hopeless where it's like, oh, there's no hope left. I'm just so full of despair and all the other typical stuff. Definitely, I want to go around collecting stuff, but I'm definitely not going to spend too much time trying to solve all the locker combinations. At least, what I'm not going to pull up my phone to find out the locker combinations. Not all that much. Basically, I want to see just how well I can do without needing to look up the codes. See how well that works out. Plus, I'm only playing on standard, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Although the game takes away the purpose of carrying weapons like knives and whatnot, since you can't use them offensively. Or you can use them, I mean defensively, self-defense weapon. Because basically if an enemy like a zombie grabs you, it's gonna take a bite out of you one way or another. So not really much what's the word, incentive to use. I forgot, where was I going? Not much incentive to carry stuff like a knife since I got plenty of weapons and I got infinite ammo and whatnot. But I guess that maybe that's meant to add like a sense of urgency to not let enemies bite you, since if a zombie gets its hands on you, it's gonna bite you. Especially if you're on your very last bit of health, where one bite is all it takes for a regular zombie to kill you. Oh, it doesn't have to be charged. Oh, the guy's smart enough to go that way towards safety. Awesome! Awesome! I don't know why, but every time I get a headshot in this game, I can't help but say awesome when I get one. Dang, Jill. You get yourself cleaned up. Kind of funny how the woman who's on that intercom is out here telling people to remain calm in spite of this obvious disaster that's going on. Like it's that easy. Like people are getting attacked by zombies, and you expect them to be able to just remain calm that easily. Like it's that simple. Like people are out here busy running for their lives. They're not thinking about whatever a random woman on the intercom that loud is saying, unfortunately. Like yeah, it's always better to remain as calm as you can. But for a lot of these people, being able to just remain calm, like it's that simple, is not much of an option for them.
Gotta put this out.
Oh, okay. Don't fail me now. Oh, can't do that. That's weird. It's only when I initially read about this gun and that it's only useful for. Oh, I should have waited till I had that gunpowder thing. What was it? Mixing powder, whatever the hell it's called. Okay, that was clearly aimed at the head. Moon's Donut. Oh, it's a oh, okay. Somehow I missed that. I never noticed that. It's a donut shop. Usually when I see diners like that, in that sort of style, I'll be thinking food. Like burgers. Mmm, that sounds good right now, actually. It's too bad this weapon is only really good for if you can hit an opponent's weak point. Like, yeah, to have some excellent aiming for that. Which is funny because these remakes really do encourage you to aim at an opponent's or an enemy's weak point at all times anyway. Come on. Hmm.
This must be the subway company's offices. Huh, nothing.
Oh, wait. Awesome. interesting how there's a zombie apocalypse going on, and they still have the guy out here doing one last report before he's allowed to run for his life. Oh, now I remember what I want to do. Man, this reminds me, I gotta get me some new shoes. Hopefully ones that are waterproof too. It's crazy how you can have a game take place around the same time and around the general same place or same location, that being Raccoon City itself, and yet you can have the main characters never run into each other just by having the games take place at different times and different locations. Like explaining how Jill never ran into Leon and Claire simply by the fact that for her whole story in Raccoon City takes place the day before and the day after Resident Evil 2. So in other words, the day before where Jill's going on doing her whole adventure. Then after that, she falls into a coma, but then upon being healed, she wakes up again, and the story for her takes place, or the rest of the story takes place the day after Leon and Claire had already escaped from Raccoon City. Also explaining when you get to places like the police station, finding out why certain areas are locked off, all that good stuff. kind of like, what's that game? Resident Evil, not Resident Evil. Darksiders. Explaining how Darksiders 1 and 2 and 3 all take place like around the same time as each other. The events happening, what was it, concurrently? Anyways, taken around the same time as one another. Just that each of them going to different locations. Like for War, his is mostly going through most of post-apocalyptic Earth, while occasionally going to a few realms and other dimensions outside of, but we'll see, some places, occasionally other dimensions outside of the post-apocalyptic Earth, but mostly taking place around Earth's ruins. Then you have Darksiders 2 with Death. Awesome! With most of his story taking place in a whole bunch of other areas in different dimensions, and only 1 or 2 missions that he does that has him going to the post-apocalyptic Earth just for a little bit. And then what was that one? War, Death. Stripe is the third. No, he's the second youngest. Oh no, second oldest. So it goes Death, Stripe. Fury, that's her name. Anyways, so Fury, hers kind of goes back and forth. Sometimes, actually no, most of the, at least from my experience so far, I really gotta hurry up so I can beat that game. But anyways, with Fury, her story takes place between somewhere around, like, it starts off mostly around post-apocalyptic Earth, then on occasion she goes to a few fantasy or more basically other dimensions outside of Earth. So it's mainly a fantasy setting for Death. And while for Fury and War, for Fury and War, it's mostly a post-apocalyptic setting. Although one thing I would like to see game developers try, that I don't think I've ever seen done, at least I haven't seen it done before, is games where it's a zombie apocalypse. Like zombies, not zombies created from magic, but zombies more closely created from science. Like with Resident Evil, like someone performing a science experiment gets out of hand. But it takes place in a fantasy setting, you know, with your typical dwarves, elves, and all that other stuff. So zombies that, for the most part, can't really wield weapons or anything like that. At least not to the same extent that a human could. There we go. Anyways, zombies created through science rather than from magic But there's still, like, just the sheer number of them, not to mention the creatures that can get infected, from humans to animals to all that other stuff, ogres, orcs, goblins, they can all get infected, and that ends up being, yeah, that ends up being the setting for whatever game. That's a take on the zombie apocalypse I would like to see. There were 30 guys in our squad, all armed with state-of-the-art assault rifles, and yet were wiped out in less than 48 hours. The Middle East, Eastern Europe, East Africa, I thought I knew what hell was, figured I'd never crack, no matter what was thrown at me. This job, this was supposed to be easy, a quick wage, I'd earned it. Yeah, but that's just against humans. Zombies, mutants, monsters, they don't exactly train you for that. Ah, quit your whining, Jill. Don't hurt that much. You know, there's plenty of things they could have done with Nemesis in this game to make him work in a way that would still make him scary, because it's annoying how they reduced him to only specific encounters. Because what they did with Mr. X was pretty clever, actually. Mr. X was originally an enemy you'd only encounter in specific situations, so he was mainly limited to boss encounters. But what was cool was how he was limited to the B scenario. But in the remake, they made him someone you encounter in two different areas. One right outside the STARS office, and one right where the helicopter crashed after the fire had finally gone out. But anyways, like upon you encountering him, you can stun him, but you can never actually defeat him. Like only Leon gets to actually fight him as a final boss and defeat him in the end. But for Claire, well, I'll get to that later. Anyways, making him an enemy where upon encountering him, he keeps chasing after you no matter where you go. Just a constant pursuer. That was a very good change of pace. But then for Nemesis, they did the opposite. They took someone who you can. Well, Nemesis in the original, it was both random encounters and. Let's see, it was both random encounters and what the heck? So a little mixture of both in the original. In this game, it's only random encounters. Oh no, not random encounters. Scripted encounters. Chasing through different parts of the police station. From the... What was it? Well, there is the lab. Let's see, the lab, the main lobby, and the area around the parking garage. And he will eventually find you if he happens to come across the same room that you just happen to be in. So if you're not careful, he can and will find you, and especially on Anyways, the point I'm trying to get is that the way they did Mr. X in this game,
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
the way they did Mr. X in Resident Evil 2, the remake, was similar to what they did with Nemesis. There were still specific areas where you were guaranteed to encounter him in the game. Especially with Leon, since Leon is the one who gets the final boss encounter with him. Whereas Nemesis in this game, they took that away. He's no longer any random encounters. Because that's part of what made him so scary in Resident Evil 3. You could literally just go through a door into a random area. And it's like a 50-50 chance. Sometimes he would be on the other side of the door, sometimes he wouldn't. It was always random. And that was part of what made Nemesis so effective in Resident Evil 3. And so they took that concept, gave it to Mr. X. Mr. X will actively search throughout the station, the various areas where he will be looking for you. And the most you can only do is just stun him, and then just keep running from him. But again, it's only if you're playing as Leon do you actually get to fight him as a boss fight. But Nemesis, they took away the suspense. It's like part of what makes something an encounter scary is the unknown. You don't know when or where you're gonna run into an enemy. That uncertainty, oh, come on. Man, it really hampers your mobility. Oh, I just went back the other way. So them making Nemesis no longer a random encounter, in addition to the actual scripted encounters. And even then, most of the scripted encounters, you could actually get a choice in rather if you take on Nemesis or not. Oh, come on! Actually, there's so much they did with Resident Evil 3 as far as remaking it. There was one video that was talking about the enemies you encounter, rather if it's humans than like Nikolai, to enemies you actually fight against, like the BOWs and zombies. And one person, the guy was talking about how saying, depending on which game certain characters end up meeting a certain fate. And there was one person who made a comment about how they won't consider anything from Resident Evil 3 canon. And plenty of other people agree. Honestly, I agree too. I don't consider anything from Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 2 and 3, the remakes. I don't consider them canon. The only thing that I consider canon is Resident Evil Resident Evil 1, the remake, since unlike 2 and 3, which really changed so many events around, Resident Evil 1 kept everyone and everything intact. Unlike 2 and 3, which took things away and then changed everything else while not adding anything new. That's what Resident Evil 1 remake did. Everything that was canon from the very first game, they kept that same continuity in the remake, while adding new things that didn't take away from what was already there. So basically, change.
Okay.
What was it?
All that leaves is the main power switch.
So keep everything from the very first game intact while adding new stuff to the story. New different types of enemies, characters like Lisa, Trevor, and whatnot. RE2 and 3 did none of that. In fact, RE2 and 3's remakes took so much out and didn't add anything new or unique. Maybe certain types of enemy, maybe like one type of enemy, like the G types in RE2, and that was really about it. one of the reasons why when it comes to remakes, it
Carlos.
it really can split a community in half as far as well, remakes and reboots. That's why some people like me say that like instead of a full-on remake, instead just do a remaster. That's like for Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. I don't if they were to give us Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks for the PS4 and 5, what I would prefer is just a remaster, like an HD remaster. Don't try to do no remake. Don't try to do a massive change to anything. I don't know why they would give me this back when I already discarded it. Okay, so it's R1.
You shitting me?
Now, if I remember on the hard, what was it? Was it Inferno or Nightmare? Well, anyways, on the hardest difficulty, not only does he get up dang near instantaneously, like just a few seconds, but the amount of speed the guy has. See how long it takes for him to come running around that, because they gave him so much speed. Oh! Oh! I love that. Not even Mr. X or anything in Resident Evil 2 could scare me that much. Man! Oh. This is what horror games... I love horror games that do a good job of that. That's why out of the Metro games, I haven't finished Metro Exodus yet. I really need to. But Metro Exodus so far is more focused on exploration and action. It really took out the horror element. There was only the horror element that 1 and 2, especially the second game. It's basically non-existent in Exodus. In Exodus, it's only in the beginning. And that's when you encounter a horde of monsters chasing after you. But then after that, that dude. Oh, come on. I couldn't recover. Man. And I know it's usually in that area. Just keep running. It's usually in that area that the creature appears, but usually he would drop down out of the sky from somewhere onto the street. That's the first time he ever came down from the ladder. Amazing how I was able to kill it by shooting in the leg, even though it's a zombie. And what's creepy to know was that Nemesis can actually dodge bullets, among other weaponry. That's like I said, when it comes to the sheer terror factor, that's what Nemesis has in this game compared to Mr. X in the remake. The fact that he can come charging around that corner so angry like a damn bulldozer. And he only killed me 2 hits, and I'm playing on, what was it, standard difficulty? Was it standard or assisted? I already forgot. Gotta complete the game in 2 hours to get it S rank. Dang. Seriously, just hearing Mr. X's footsteps around the police station doesn't fill me with nearly as much dread.
Okay, back again.
So just knowing how fast Nemesis is.
Alright, where are we headed?
The train is stopped at Redstone Street. We need to reach Fox Park Station. Can you program that in?
Hey, I'm super cop. Consider it done.
Unable to establish route. Please try again.
FA2. RA04. SA02. Wait, it already says SA02. I don't get it. It says it's right there. The next one is SA02. Dang it.
Albert, confirmed.
Carlos, it's me. I finished inputting the subway.
Chill, you are amazing. Tough as nails, too. Hurry back to the station. We'll make sure the subway's ready to depart.
I remember with Resident Evil 3, I heard there was gonna be a rumor. I read about a rumor where supposedly, um, I don't know if it was meant to be, if they were talking about a certain specific mode, or just in general, Nemesis would be able to ignore safe zones and attack you anyway.
Fuck!
The fact that that thing had that creature on its head, but only Nemesis can affect the zombies like that, wouldn't that mean that Nemesis came into this area, infected a zombie with it, and then it attacked? Kind of weird how once I leave that area from the train station, suddenly Nemesis is just not there. To me, that just doesn't make sense. Like, why would he stop pursuing me? These are the kind of changes I talk about where it just seems more annoying than anything. And again, the fact that they took out the Gravedigger from the original RE3.
What the hell was it doing to them?
You know, after this, I think I'm gonna watch some rerun, not reruns. I'm gonna watch Sonic for Hire. That's like the only Sonic the Hedgehog parody that I can immediately think of. Because the only other one that I know of is the Sonic and Knuckles parody, where Sonic and Knuckles are roommates in an apartment. With Sonic for Hire. Sonic for Hire started off with Sonic being broke and needing money to pay his rent that Tails controlled the rent for the apartment. So he started off having Sonic do a whole bunch of random jobs to be able to pay off his rent, which of course Sonic, being the constant screw up that he is Sonic for Hire, keeps messing everything up. Can't just do a job without trying to rob someone or kill someone. And it just constantly escalates from there. And the way both parodies change characters' personalities so much. Like in Sonic and Knuckles, they made Amy into even more of a blatant stalker than she already is. Yeah, where is he? Anyways, they made Shadow into an absolute gun fanatic. But besides his fascination with guns, he and Sonic are the most sane ones on the show. They made Knuckles a complete idiot, which a lot of parodies try to do. Him and Big. But dude, they made Big like Mr. Herbert. a subtle, not so subtle pedophile. That's weird. I only stunned him. He should still be after me. Okay, here he is. Again, taking a character where there was already the scripted events from the third game, but also the fact that you could enter a random area, and each random area there's always that 50-50 chance of him showing up. That's part of what made him scary. But when they took that away in the remake here, that just makes every encounter with him not only... Oh, come on. Not only did they make that so easily predictable, but it just takes the fear out of it. And Resident Evil is supposed to be a horror series. And sometimes that horror they play on is creating dread. That dread someone will naturally fear, thinking, well, what if he's on the other side? What if he's here? What if I end up running into him here or there? Not to mention one of Jill's famous lines of, "You want stars? I'll give you stars." Whereas in the original, she said that right before she shot him with a magnum to finally kill him. Whereas here in this game, she just says it almost randomly while running from it in this area. So taking an iconic line that people like and making it more of a throwaway comment, yeah, not too many people like that.
Carlos, do you copy? Oh, I need to find another way out.
Like, Nemesis is more of a chore to deal with rather than something actually fun to look forward to the point where these areas, like when I get to the sewer and I know I don't have to deal with him again,
Top of the area.
that's a bad design. Or it's got me thinking, oh sweet, now I don't have to put up with him or in his BS for quite a while. Like, that is not how it should be. It should be absolutely more of, ooh, I look forward to running into Nemesis at this part, or I wonder if Nemesis is going to be at that part. Wait, what I needed? I don't think I'm gonna ever get an. Oh man, that's weird. I need 2 hours for both an S and an A ring, but I need like 5 saves or less. Yeah, 5 saves or less to get an S rank. But it'll take me 4 hours, and that alone would get me a B rank. So what if I get less than 5 saves, but manage to get it under 4 hours?
Oh, what was that?
Now, what was I talking about earlier?
Looks
Oh yeah, the Sonic the Hedgehog parody, Sonic for Hire and Sonic and Knuckles. Now Sonic and Knuckles features completely original animation style and all for Sonic and Knuckles.
Oh, I'm definitely burning these clothes.
Sonic for Hire reuses characters' in-game sprites. Just fine and all, still funny. But again, the changes they make to characters' personalities. Sonic being incompetent and doing jobs without screwing up. And him and Tails being complete assholes. Not just to each other, but to other people in general. While occasionally showing signs of being good people. Like, they really go back and forth. Still messed up how for Sonic and Knuckles they made Big into, I don't know if for Big, if it's more he is straight up a pedophile, or if it's like he's good with kids, or believes himself to be
What the fuck was that?
like the kind of guy kids find funny or just overall fun to hang around, or if he is indeed an actual just straight up pedophile. Because they also made Big not too bright, so I would assume, because Big is actually one of my favorite characters, so I try to give him, Big, in that parody benefit of doubt. That's just him being not too bright and not realizing just how creepy the way he acts around children, how that makes him appear, especially to parents who are concerned. Now, if I remember, those creatures, they have an instant kill if they get too close. So a healing item isn't going to do much against them if they manage to get too close. Nah. I'll get the gunpowder mixer later. Oh! It's like one of the weirdest variants of the Gamma I've ever seen. But that it also makes, well, excuse me, it makes sense as to why they were quickly discarded. They're too big, so as far the issue of not only transporting them, but getting them into small spaces where enemies could be hiding, that would also be an issue in of itself. All the more reason as to why the smaller ones you run into Resident Evil 1, those ones were a lot better. Dang things were smart enough to even know how to use the dang door. creepy how it's referred to as a love letter, and it's addressed to scientists' darlings. And it's obvious he's talking about those gamma mutants. It happened again. They got Kane this time. I saw it all. One of those things just swallowed him whole, head to toe. I tried to warn them when Bill went missing 2 weeks back. The cops said he probably skipped town, but I said no way. Not with his baby coming any day. But did they listen? Nope. This is bullshit. Fucking puke-breathing, toad-faced motherfuckers. Every time I think I've lost them, another one pops out of the tunnels. And it's not like I can count on the fucking cops. Don't trust the pencil pushers at HQ either. Next time one of those freaks shows its face, I'm gonna hit it right in its big ugly mouth. Didn't make it too far, did you? But those gammas eat their prey whole. This guy's mostly intact. Maybe he just got infected by a zombie and made it and just died here. But wait, if he knew about these creatures, then why bother... Oh, screw it. Why bother coming down there to the sewers to begin with? If he was able to go and tell the police and people at HQ to begin with. Wouldn't it have if he knew about these creatures and knew that there was so many of them in the sewers and knew how to deal with them, wouldn't it have just made sense just to avoid the sewers altogether if he could? Seems like he brought it on himself. Or maybe he thought he could use the sewers to get out of there. Although, interestingly, knowing that these kind of creatures were down in the sewers, it's kind of a wonder how neither Leon or Claire ever ran into them. But you could just chalk that up to there not being that many of them. And whichever ones there were, Jill was able to kill them all. Oh man. I thought the one I counted earlier, I thought that was the last one, but nope. But yeah, you could just simply count it to them just all appearing in a general area of the sewers and Jill managing to kill them all before Leon even came to the sewers to begin with. Man, I don't know what, but it's like I keep rerunning different scenes from Sonic for Hire in my head. Particularly the scene where Sonic needed help robbing, what was it, Casino Zone? So it was Sonic, Tails, Princess Potato, Kirby, Eggman, Earthworm Jim, that was his name. Needing help from all of them to rob Casino Zone, and it ended up being a complete disaster. Oh, and Sonic's daughter Saniqua. That's it? And it ends up being a complete disaster. Sonic gets captured just as soon as he steps in to be. Oh, like as soon as Sonic stepped in, he already gets captured. Eggman didn't go inside to help because, well, he did. At first, he had a good reason of how if he went in there, they would know something was up. And then, what was it? Oh yeah. So it was Sonic explaining how he already got captured, and Eggman not going in because, well, at first he was saying that if he went in there, they would know something was up. But then he added the other excuse of how he had injuries, his back was hurting, there's all this other stuff he had going on. But then, I forget, Kirby and Princess Potato were supposed to do something, but they made Kirby into a psychopathic killer. Like, he just murders people left and right unapologetically. And it's like literally he would literally kill Sonic and any of the others he calls a friend if they do anything to so much as piss him off. So yeah, absolutely did not take much to set Kirby off and make him want to just murder someone. It was getting to the point where it was very disturbing. Even Sonic and Tails, who had no problem killing people left and right, would often be disturbed and caught off guard by just how violent and bloodthirsty Kirby was. Like literally, when Kirby's introduced, it was when Tails was looking for different jobs for Sonic to do so that he can get paid. One of them being Sonic goes up to Kirby, and Kirby's like, "Oh, I need help killing all these bad people here." And Sonic's all like, "Really? Because it doesn't look so bad around here." And Kirby's all like, "Oh no, it's terrible. Just look at this evil prick." And he immediately kills the guy, even though the guy, he greets Sonic and Kirby in such a friendly manner. But then as soon as Kirby kills him, then another guy approaches and Kirby's like, "Oh, here comes another motherfucker." And Kirby kills him as well. Like, he devours both of them. Since that's always been Kirby's main ability, is eating people and being able to copy their abilities. And then a third guy shows up, doesn't even get to say anything before Kirby kills him and starts wailing on his corpse with the umbrella he took from that guy. Although, as terrible as that all was, that also makes Kirby one of my favorite characters as well. Just how much of a unapologetic killer they made him. From what I've seen in media, it's not easy to make someone like that. Someone who is a killer, but without making them, I don't know, like a stereotypical super villain. Always going off and doing some weird, crazy laugh, like the Joker. Like for Kirby, compared to someone like Joker, Kirby, the way he acts is truly, like, it's almost easy to forget just how much he actually enjoys just killing people left and right. Joker, he likes to make a game out of it. Kirby, for him, it's like it's it's like food for him in Sonic for Hire. Like he just can't live without killing anyone, no matter if they're good or bad or whatever. Which is why it's because of that when Eggman was forming the team and giving everyone a specific job to do for robbing casino zones, he should have known better than to have. Well, I guess he didn't really know Kirby too well compared to Sonic. But then again, Sonic and Tails could have told an Eggman, no, do not team up Kirby. Do not team up. Don't team Kirby up with anyone. Because if you leave him with Princess Potato, he's gonna kill her the first chance he gets. And that's exactly what Kirby does. Earthworm Jim stayed in the van where Eggman was and was asking if everyone was in position, and was like, Kirby, you and Princess Potato in position? And it instantly cuts to, oh come on, just hit me with an uppercut. But anyways, it cuts to Kirby and Princess Potato. Really? Already? And before they could do anything, Kirby eats Princess Potato. And he just casually says, Roger that. Just murder Princess Potato. And Jim's all like, dang it.
Still kicking?
Now, if I remember, Jill assumes that the creature is dead. But if I recall, if you stick around here long enough, or stick around a certain area, you would actually hear Nemesis shout out stars again. And I'm assuming that sound was him making his way off the roof.
Carlos? It's Jill. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. All right.
Yeah. Bastard's dead.
That's what you think.
Fuck him. What were you thinking? Turning yourself into bait. He could have been killed.
Don't start. I did what I had to.
I know. And thanks. The subway's ready to go. Hurry back.
You know, when they adapted Resident Evil... Yeah, it was Resident Evil 3. When they adapted Resident Evil 3 and made Resident Evil Apocalypse, the way they did it as to why so many people had a hard time getting out of Raccoon City definitely made sense. Because Umbrella stepped in and they ended up forming a barrier. Anyways, yeah, they formed barriers around every exit that that Raccoon City had. And no one could get in or out of the city except through each of the exit points. And that's if someone didn't show signs of being infected. If they showed any signs, even the slightest sign of infection, they would either be turned away or killed right there on site. And there was this girl, it was a girl, her mother, they were there with the girl's father, the woman's husband. And it turns out he was infected, but they just didn't know it. And oh, weird. Anyways, he ends up infected. He turns and ends up biting an officer who was part of the STARS unit. So therefore, they refuse to let anyone at that exit point through and tell everyone to just go back into the city. Whereas in this game, there was no such barrier ever used. So people could have gotten out of the city. The only problem is Raccoon City is Raccoon City is a much bigger city than I keep remembering it to be. I always forget about that. Just how large the city is. So that's why a lot of people were scrambled. They didn't know what to do. Some people made their way to the police station. Others hunkered down in their homes, not realizing just how many infected there were in the city. The number of infected, the number of those who were infected or who had turned into zombies by that point, the number of, and they also, no one knew anything about the BOWs. There was also that to factor in. So yeah, you couldn't blame people for that. Who would have counted on monsters showing up in the city and attacking as well?
Kaboom! Shit, chill.
Kendo, you're all right.
Yeah, all right to stretch. Sorry, I got a little jumpy there. Didn't know quite what to expect.
No shit. Look, we're using the subway to get people out of town. You in?
Subway. Well, that's good thinking.
If you're heading to the station, take that service alley out in front of the shop, okay?
I guess the whole plan was to make him not such a one-note character like he kind of was in the original game, since in that one, as soon as you run into him, he gets attacked and killed by zombies almost instantaneously, so he doesn't get to do much. But even in this game, he doesn't do much. He's just as unhelpful and uncooperative. Well, in this game, he was intentionally unhelpful. He refuses to let, like, all Leon said he had to do was, like, he just needed to get through the alley. But for some reason, that guy was, Robert was refusing to let him get through the alley. I'm like, well, what the heck for? They didn't say nothing about disturbing your daughter or you or anything. They're just trying to get to the dang building. And it's only because Ada showed up to back up Leon. That was it. That's all it took for him to back off and leave them. Also, mainly because his daughter was there and showed up. Of course, it should no surprise that upon zombie apocalypse happening, one of the first places people will run to would be the gun store. dude just ends up killing himself rather than being taken out by the zombies. The whole, what was it, that scenario, Ghost Survivors, where you play as people who had actually died, but then you play what's essentially a what's a what if scenario, like what if that person actually survived and was able to make their way out of the city, or try to make their way out of the city. That's what they did with Kendo. Too bad we didn't get more of that. Man! I remember Sonic for Hire, I keep watching that because they, I don't know, I guess it must have been in the very early days of YouTube where they were releasing it episode by episode. Because when I started watching it, it was that big old compilation video that goes from beginning to end right before Sonic goes to college, which they're currently doing right now. Oh, okay. You know, almost any time there's a game setting with zombies involved, one of the most common traits they do is someone has someone that they care about, friend, associate. It's just someone that they care about and genuinely someone who they love is infected with the virus. And they know that person's infected, that person knows they're infected, and it's only a matter of time before they either die and come back as a zombie, or they just turn to one right then and there. They know this, but they won't put that person down. They'll say, and if anyone else tries to shoot that person,
Rocket launcher?
they would sooner kill you before they allow you to kill that person who's infected, even though they know that person's gonna become a danger. And they'll tell them as such. And it's like they know that person's gonna become a danger upon turning, but they still refuse to kill that person. And it's like, but they're literally suffering. They are not in their best form at all. You'd be doing them a huge favor by putting them out of their misery, because that's all it is. Yeah, I got a rocket launcher too, buddy boy. Yeah, didn't know two could play at that game. I guess once I take him down enough times and get all the upgrades to the handgun, that's it. He doesn't drop anything else. Yeah, that's right. You don't know me like that. If I remember, they haven't made any references to Resident Evil from Sonic for Hire. No, they haven't. But although I do wish. I wish Kirby would appear in more episodes or appear more often. But I guess there's only so much you can do with someone whose main desire or main focus is just his love for casually just killing people left and right. Like, who literally cannot.
This is insane.
Someone who literally cannot function unless he gets the opportunity to kill people every now and then. Cause I remember there was an episode where Sonic and Tails, they were trying to go down the path of peace rather than violence, like their usual violence. Oh, so you can't get more. Anyways, they try to go the path of peace instead of violence, like they've always done before. Where the hell do I go now? Man, Resident Evil 3 never encouraged free roam, both the original and the remake, compared to RE1 and 2.
Carlos, I know we didn't get off to a great start. Thanks for saving.
Hey, you saved my ass first. You're a hell of a lot braver than me.
Well, what matters is that we can get everyone out of the city now.
Wait, what did she save him? Because actually he saved her first from Nemesis at the beginning of the game. Then she drew Nemesis away from the station.
Not from the sound of it. I won't be catching the train.
Why not?
Oh, there'll be new orders. If it means I can help save the city, it's fine by me.
If only they all knew how it was all going to end in the end. Hey, at least they were willing. Well, no, it wasn't Umbrella, obviously. It was the government who decided to just blow up the city and said they were going to do it one way or another to prevent the infection from spreading. And part of that had to be by ensuring, even if someone was healthy, there was just knowing that there was that chance of them being infected. You know, I was about to say, just send someone like Kirby from Sonic for Hire in to devour everyone. But of course, if he did that, more than likely he'd get infected. And a zombified Kirby, specifically the one who loves to murder left and right from Sonic for Hire, would not be a good idea.
Along with your hot date.
No, she's not like that. No, she's
Still, Kirby's one of my favorite characters. I just like the way they portrayed him. Again, I still remember one of my favorite moments from him and from the series overall was just they're about to rob Casino Zone. Eggman makes the mistake of teaming him up with Princess Potato,
You sure?
and when Earthworm Jim
Like a cemetery.
radios them in to see if they're in position, he just casually devours Princess Potato's like, Roger, just kill Princess Potato. Over. I'm like, man,
Come get some.
he knew exactly what the job was and what they were there for, but he just couldn't help himself. It's like the only time in which a zombie actually drops an item for you to grab. Too bad it's only for a very limited time you get to play as Carlos.
That could be useful. Where'd that cop go?
Don't know, don't care. We got a job to do. Our intel's still worth a damn, then Bard's in the STARS office. Let's find him and take him into custody.
Custody? I thought this was a rescue.
Nope, he ain't getting any of Jill's items.
Carlos, take a look at this. I've located the STARS office. Remember, Bard had access to Umbrella's darkest secrets. He knows we'll try to keep him under our thumbs.
So this search and rescue mission is really more like find and detain. Right. Good to know.
I'll open the shutter so you can get through.
You stay here and find out what's been going on here at the station.
Call you if I find anything.
I forget this dude's name.
Be careful.
Yeah. You too, man.
Now, if I remember, he was in the original and he died from an explosive. Whereas in this game, he's killed by Nemesis.
Area looks clear.
And I'm just like, oh man, why the brother man gotta die? He was a pretty cool character. I wish he had survived. Yeah, that would have been an interesting twist and a welcome one on my end, where because he was such a helpful ally to Jill and Carlos, that he actually survives to the very end. Wounded, but not infected.
Now here's a weird fucking door.
Leave it. We're here for Bard.
What's annoying is that if you don't kill Brad, then well, it all ends up being all for nothing. When you read that paper about badge ID badges.
What the hell was that thing? Couldn't have been a zombie.
Like the whole aesthetic of the police station. That's one thing the RE2 remake did that I don't like. Was just the rain outside. Just the dead silence, and you only wonder if you ever run into a zombie or anything. That makes, to me, it's much better without the rain. Makes it easier to hear the zombies roaming about.
Here we go.
legs so bloody and red that I thought it was pants.
Right. Big, warm RPD welcome.
Yeah, and I think besides Marvin, let's see, be Marvin, there's those 2 police officers that just got killed. And then there's that one officer from RE2 that we tried to save but couldn't. I think Elliot was his name. So that one means that prior to us arriving, there was only 4 people left in the police station.
You copy? There's something real nasty in here. I don't know what it is. Something nasty. All right. I'll take a look with the cameras. Watch your 6.
Hey, I just realized, I keep thinking about, because I kept bringing up Kirby from Sonic for Hire, how he just like, he doesn't do like what the Joker does. Like both of them are psychopathic killers, but Joker loves to make a game out of everything. A game, a spectacle, kill people in some very interesting, over-the-top ways. Whereas Kirby, he just kills it. He's very straightforward about how he does it. Like, he just kills them, tears them apart, eats them, whatever. Oh yeah, Cletus Cassidy, that's how I was thinking of.
Help shoot cops.
He's like Cletus Cassidy from Marvel Comics. Whereas Cletus Cassidy, he just kills people directly. He doesn't like try to make a show out of it. He just tears and eviscerates and all the other stuff. And when they did the Marvel DC team up and Joker teamed up with Carnage, Joker and Cassidy were at odds with each other because Carnage would just kill people straightforward. Joker said how it's like anyone could just kill someone, but the way he does it it takes the fun out of it, just killing them straightforward. That's why he likes to make a game out of it. And yet, what was funny to me, and one moment I liked from that crossover, was that Carnage and Joker were having their little conversation, and unlike Joker, Cletus was really getting into what he enjoys about killing. Yeah, it does still work. Sweet. Anyways, Cletus was really getting into how much he just enjoys killing people the way he does. Just eviscerating people left and right. Like a true example of just ripping and tearing over and over again. And it got to the point where even the Joker of all people, was disturbed and disgusted by the way Cletus goes about it. Like even Joker himself, like it shows, even Joker himself has a limit to how much he can take. Because Cletus truly is someone who,
If the cameras killed those things, I'd be set.
yeah, wouldn't that be easy? Like I said, how I keep talking about Kirby from Sonic for Hire. Excuse me. The example of a psychopathic killer who just by all means cannot live ever without killing someone. Or almost every moment they're alive is a moment they believe they just gotta kill something, kill someone. And so that to me was just funny. Cletus really going into what how he fantasizes about just murder left and right, and seeing what's left of people's corpses when he's done, and just the fact that it's too much even for Joker to handle, to where Joker decides he doesn't want to team up with Carnage anymore because he takes the fun out of it and just makes it a sick game. Like when you're able to get that kind of reaction out of Joker of all people, it's like Joker's one of those kind of people where it's not exactly easy to out crazy the crazy, especially his level of crazy. But that's exactly what Carnage is able to do. Now that's a skill in of itself, as weird as that is to say. Someone did bring up that a character like Carnage is an example of a character that's overused because they don't know what to do with the character, and the storylines repeat themselves. Carnage,
For fuck's sake. Why is it blocked?
Cletus ends up locked up somewhere. He gets the symbiote suit, breaks out of wherever he's locked up, Rikers, some institution for the mentally insane. And then, thanks to the Carnage suit, he breaks out, goes on he kills almost everyone on his way out. Then proceeds to go on a killing spree, causing trouble, causing chaos left and right.
Okay. Guess we'll be doing this the exploding way.
Where was it? Oh yeah. He gets out, goes around killing people left and right. Spider-Man needs to stop him. And usually, he has to team up with Venom. Either team up with Venom or someone else. Usually Venom though. You're right. Alright, man, keep us in my place. What I was saying about Carnage. Oh yeah, Spider-Man needing to team up with someone, usually Venom, to take down Carnage. And so am I supposed to go back? Man, the dude was just standing there.
Nighty-night.
And to think, regular zombies can end up turning into that. So how's it? Oh yeah. Okay, so if I could finally just finish without losing track. Oh, come on! Boy. So anyways, Cletus is locked up somewhere. He gets firing zombies in that mix. He gets locked up somewhere, gets the Carnage symbiote, breaks out while killing a bunch of people on his way out, makes his way somewhere while going on a killing spree. Usually it takes Spider-Man teaming up with someone, usually Venom or someone else, or mostly Venom, to finally defeat him. And then he either he does get taken away by authorities, or he seemingly dies in the end. All while Spider-Man and someone else talks about taking out Carnage once and for all, as they usually like to say. Only for it to turn out that somehow, by some miracle, Carnage actually survived. And it's only a matter of time before he goes off to kill people again. So Carnage USA was a somewhat unique take on that, with Carnage going around and actually infecting people with the Carnage symbiote. 10406 4.
Mine now. Come to Papa.
What was another unique storyline that they did? Oh yeah, when it was the event that was used to as a precursor to when Noel would arrive, where it was this cult that was seemingly dedicated to worshiping symbiotes or Carnage in general. Only they made it clear that they initially needed Carnage to make a sacrifice. That Carnage needed to be the sacrifice that they had to kill in order to give power to Noel, so that he can eventually make his escape, or something like that. I remember it was like a three issue miniseries for Carnage back when it was Scarlet Witch and someone else who casted a spell that Okay. Oh, come on, man! Anyways, it was a spell that... It was a spell that Scarlet Witch and someone else involved. I think it was Dr. Doom, they said, that they ended up casting. They ended up reversing everyone. I forgot what the name of that event was. What the storylines that occurred from it was. Anyways, it ended up switching around everyone's morale. Everyone who was present, their moralities got switched around. So the good guys started going out committing acts of evil, and the bad guys went out trying to commit acts of good.
One at a time, take a number.
And it did not work out very well at all for Carnage. Like, he tried to be a good guy. The problem is, that was already never gonna happen because everyone recognized him as... Oh, come on! People recognized him as Carnage, the guy who killed people before. The mass murderer. So no way people were gonna forget that anytime soon. So no matter how many times, even if it was people who were a danger to society, drug dealers, prostitutes,
It sucks to be popular.
all people would see is just Carnage just killing people. And so, if I remember, it ended up with him seemingly sacrificing his life to...
Dr. Bard.
Oh, thank God. Do you know how long I've been trying to reach somebody?
Don't worry, we're gonna get you out of there. Just tell me where you are.
I'm trapped in a goddamn hospital, surrounded by every kind of abomination. Look, just send in stars. They're gonna know what to do.
No, negative. RPD's overrun too.
Then figure it out! Umbrella's gone crazy. They're killing all the researchers. I am the only one who knows how to make the vaccine to stop the zombies. So you can either sit there with your dick in your hand or send somebody who's capable of getting me the hell out of here.
I like him already.
Yeah, you would. You heard what he said. We can't turn him over to the company.
That's not our call to make. That's Mikhail's call. I'm gonna check the computer, see if I can trace the doc's location.
This'll take some time. Look around, see if you can find anything useful.
Is that Jill in the front row?
"2 hours. Well, I can forget about trying to get S rank, that's for sure."
what's up?
You know, I think instead, considering how many times I've already died, I think I'm gonna end it around here. Carlos is pretty fun to play, even if there's not really much of a major difference between him and Jill. But anyways, yeah, next time I'm just gonna. Next time, I'll just get a rocket launcher. Or like just get the rocket launcher and make my way through the whole game.
Carlos?
Oh man, I still need to finish it on Inferno. Hey, no, what is it? An hour and is that the time or is that something else? 1902. It's 1702, or not 17, 702. So yeah, that's the military time. Come on, man. Yeah, people talking about coming to a gunfight or a knife fight strapped with a gun. Whereas Jill, no, she comes strapped. She's kind of comes strapped with a grenade launcher.
Fucker's still alive. I can't stay here.
I want to at least see this part. Seeing Nemesis of all people playing around like that. Like, yeah, not so invincible, are you?
Carlos?
Run for your life. Ah, the heck with it. 2 hours, 6 minutes, 42 seconds in. Not too bad. It's unfortunate this game doesn't have any alternate modes. Stage 2, Nemesis A, Model, Metal. Because I mean, at least Resident Evil 2 had RE2 remake had extra modes. Wait, didn't the original Resident Evil 3 have something kind of similar to what would later be the Mercenaries mode that we got in Resident Evil 4? Didn't they have something similar? Yeah, they did. They had a few modes similar to that. But they had bonus modes you can play outside of the story mode. That's why ultimately Resident Evil 3 Remake feels so bare bones. As far as by remake standards, that's why to me, as again how remaking the story by just simply keeping the story extremely similar to the original while only adding a few things like certain enemies and lore to go with those enemies like the Crimson Heads and Lisa Trevor. Resident Evil 1 is the best remake by far. Though what I've heard, Resident Evil 4 was pretty dang close. The only thing they took out was the boss fight against, what was it? That creature that looks like it came straight out of John Carpenter's The Thing, the U9 or U6. I always forget. Considering Sadler in the original 4 referred to it simply as it. But I think U6 or U9 is one of those. So instead, they added DLC where Ada's the one who fights it. I mean, at least it's in the game part of Separate Ways. But I guess maybe they just wanted to give Ada a boss of her own to fight. Since in Separate Ways in the original game, the only actual boss encounters you have is Sadler and Krauser. And for what I've seen, I don't remember if Krauser shows up in the remake as a boss for Ada like he did originally. But the original RE4, that's only 2 bosses. RE4 remake, I guess he just wanted to add at least one extra boss for her to fight since Leon already gets so many. Oh well, that's not exactly the end of the world or anything. So that's like an example of something that was left out, but at least later added in. They didn't do anything like that for RE2 or 3. Any creatures or bosses that were taken out only to be added in as like DLC for extra characters. But still, at least Resident Evil 2 had its own with the 4th survivor with Hunk and the other survivor mini games with Tofu and all of his variants. So at the very least, they gave you something like that. RE3 has absolutely nothing like that. Oh well, no sense in me constantly complaining about that now. I am going to... Hey, Seth the programmer. Wait, did he always have his name as Seth, or did he just change it? Did he? I think, because I know he was originally called Seth the programmer. Must be like a brand thing, just switching it to just Seth. Anyways, time skip Goku's way stronger than you think. What, is he talking about like what they call End of Z? Because supposedly what they call End of Z, apparently all of Dragon Ball Super takes place before that, since End of Z is supposed to be like 10 years or something after Dragon Ball Z's Majin Buu saga. I don't know. I'm just going by whatever timeline we're in currently, and currently that's Dragon Ball Super. But some of these videos that talk about just how powerful characters are, where they scale them to, like multi-galaxy, universal, city block. As far as I'm concerned, those kind of videos are pretty fun. It's just when people take it too serious and try to act like that alone is what defines a character. Anyways, I'm gonna get off of here and see about going to the store and maybe what's today? The 27th? Yeah, I'm gonna see about getting me a soda. And I'll see you all I'll talk to you all next stream. Actually, maybe I'll do another live stream as soon as I get home. Yeah, maybe I could just do that. Just do a live stream. Stream some more DC Online when I get home. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Maybe next time I could do a stream of RE3 Remake and actually beat it and not complain too dang much. And hopefully with much better gameplay, as in not dying a whole lot. Anyways, so long y'all. Have a good evening.